Hello and welcome to the Prismatic Attic. I'm Sam and today we're going to look at how to use a sewing machine for absolute beginners. So if you've got a machine, want to use it but don't know what this doohickey is or what this spinny thing here does, I hope this video helps. First of all, I want to acknowledge that there are hundreds of different sewing machine models. Chances are you have one of the big name models, Singer, Brother, Janome or Benina. And as you can see, I'm working with a Brother model here, the LS14, and I found this to be a good, reliable, beginner-friendly machine, and it's not too expensive if you're just getting into the hobby. So while different models may be laid out slightly differently, the core features of any sewing machine remain the same. We're going to go through these features and you may find it helpful to have your machine in front of you while we do this so that you can play along at home. I'm going to show you on two different machines, but we're going to start here on the Brother. I am making this video for absolute beginners with the assumption of you not having touched a machine before. So if that's you, buckle in. I'll try and make it as straightforward as possible for you. So first of all, here's a sewing machine. Its primary purpose is to attach multiple pieces of fabric together, but they usually have additional functions such as buttonhole making and decorative uses. Starting at the top right, we have the spool pin. It may be tucked in, so you can just pull that up if it is, and there you go. This is where you put your spool of thread, like so. Next to it, you've got the bobbin winder. Now this clicks side to side like this. Give that a go, that's fun. Just make sure that when you're done, it's on the left-hand side. And we will come back to this later when we look more at the bobbin. All you need to know right now is that this is the bobbin winder. Last thing we have up here is the thread guide, which we will use and will be useful when we come to thread the machine later on. On the right-hand side of the machine, we have this big spinny thing. This is a hand wheel. And if you turn it, you can see that it causes your needle, which is over here, to go up and down. This is the action of sewing done manually. Further down that side, you should have the plug for your power cable and the on-off switch. The power cable will usually be two cables, one which has a plug on the end that goes into the main power, and the other one which leads to the foot pedal. Like in a car, the pedal makes the machine go and keeps your hands free for guiding the fabric. Turn the machine on, will turn on the light above the needle. Here on the front, we have the stitch selection wheel. If you have a fancy machine with a screen, I probably can't help with this step for you right now. That's a bit fancy for me, but just press things until you see stitch types. They're going to be similar icons. They will look like this, and for all us analog folks, you just turn your wheel until the type of stitch you want is at the selection marker, which on my machine is right here at the top. For the majority of projects, the only stitches you really need to know are straight stitches. That is these here, 6 to 10 on my machine, which come in a variety of lengths, so 6 being the shortest, 10 being the longest, and then the zigzag stitch, which is here at 2, 3, and 4 for me with different widths. Anything else you can ignore for now. Moving on to the more complicated looking side of the machine, and oh look, we have another turny thingy. So this here is the tension of your thread, and this is going to be the main thing that you fiddle with when something isn't working right. Most machines have a marked range for normal tension. You can see here I usually keep mine in that range, and mostly things are okay. Anything else there is for another video another time, because that will be issues with troubleshooting. Down here underneath the tension wheel, we've got the needle. Hurrah, the sewy bit. The needle is housed up here, and it is held in place, tightened in place by this screw. Your machine should come with a screwdriver in a little bag of goodies, but if not, a regular flathead or a coin or a knife edge, ask me how I know, should do the job. So here's the one that came with another machine that I've got. This is just to tighten and loosen these. To replace a broken needle or to swap out to a specialized type, like one for stretch materials, you'll give this small screw a turn to loosen the needle, and then you slip the needle down and it's removed. And then when you put it back in, you need to make sure that the flat side, if you look on either side, the flat side should be facing backwards. Now to put that back in, we are going to slide it back up into the casing. up until it meets the little screw that's there, and then we're going to tighten this back up. I'm going to do that by hand a little, and then just get that last little tight. There we go. So main point there, make sure it's tight and make sure the flat side is facing backwards. So maybe just pause here for a moment and have a go at taking your needle out and putting it back in. Make sure you're tightening that up when it's gone back in. You should not be able to pull it out. Right below the needle, we have the presser foot. This drops down with a lever that is usually tucked just up here. So on mine, it's this little plastic lever that we pull down, pull up, and that brings down the presser foot and pulls it back up again. Have a little play with that, get the hang of it. This is a right hand motion when you're using the machine. It should be nice and easy to use. If it's a bit stiff because your machine's maybe an older model or it's been in storage for a long time, just make sure that that's moving nice and freely. Now, when it's dropped, the presser foot holds the fabric in place while it moves under the needle so that you can get something resembling a straight line. I'm not going to say that my lines are always straight, but the presser foot does a lot of the work there. And then if you need to swap out a foot, for example, if you were using a specialty foot, like a zipper foot, you, when it's up, press down on it and it will unclip. There's a small bar in here on all feet and the clip is under here. To put it back in, we literally just put it back underneath that grip and we pull it back down and it will clip into place. Maybe have a little go at that, just taking that off and popping it back on. You shouldn't need to change your feet that often, definitely not at this stage, but it's good to know that it does come off and it is able to be put back on very easily, so do not panic. So for the moment, I'm just going to leave that off so that you can see better underneath. Directly below that foot, we've got this jagged piece of metal here. This is called the feed dogs. Now this works by moving your fabric through the machine. Let me show you. If you twist the hand wheel on the right hand side, we're going to go anti-clockwise, so twisting towards you. You can see this in action. The feed dogs are set into the needle plate, which is this piece of metal here that has screws in it and is able to be removed when necessary. So if you watch as the needle goes up and down, the feed dogs move the fabric forwards, they drop down, they come back to the front, they raise up again and push the fabric forward. So that's how that is happening. Now, in front of that, we have the bobbin cover. Your machine might have a front-loading bobbin compartment instead of a top-loading like this. On the front part of this machine is a removable section, which is a handy accessory space, and it also helps if you need a narrower arm to your machine. So this is the arm. If you need a narrower arm, you can remove that section, but also this is a handy little place that you might find you've got a little bag of goodies in. We don't need to worry about things like narrower arms at the moment, but it is something to keep in mind. And if you haven't had a look to see if there's goodies in it, it's worth having a little look. So if you've got a front loading bobbin, then you will need to remove that part of the machine to be able to access it. What we're going to do now is access that bobbin. We're going to look at the top loader first. We're going to slide off this plastic cover, just pull it towards us, pop it there, and we're going to reveal the scary inner workings of your machine. So this is the bobbin, this round piece in here. You just put your fingers in and pull that out. Easy as pie, she says after dropping it. So putting it back in is a little trickier because once it's threaded, you need to make sure it goes in the right way. There's usually a little diagram inside this portion of your machine which will show you which way it goes. It's just here on my machine. I'm not sure if you can see that. I'll throw up a picture. I've also got a larger diagram just here to the side. I'm going to show you how this goes back in properly a little bit later after we've wound the bobbin. For now, I'm just going to pop that back into the top of there and slide the cover back on. It's easier than I made that look. Let me show you all that again, but this time on a front loading machine. This is an old Toyota model that I borrowed from my nan literally decades ago, and she hasn't asked for it back. So I think it's mine now because, you know, squatters' rights. And this thing is heavy. As you can see, it has all the same functions as the modern machine. We've got the spool pin up here. We've got the bobbin winder. We've got the hand wheel. We've got the stitch selector, the reverse lever, the tension wheels up here. We've got the needle. We've got our presser foot. And on this one, the presser foot lever is at the back of the machine. But same deal, it goes up and down. We've got the feed dogs. This one does not have a quick release like the presser foot on the modern machine. This one has to be unscrewed to release this clip. We're not going to do that right now. That's not necessary. I just wanted to show you the bobbin really on this one. This box here, which is a completely different color to the rest of the machine. This is metal, this is plastic. This is the handy dandy accessory compartment. In this machine, it opens up like a box rather than sliding off for access. What goodies do we have in here? We've got some piles of old thread and old bobbins. We've got a buttonhole foot. We've got some spare needles. And we have that handy dandy screwdriver. I forgot the word for a moment there. That's all handy in there. And we are going to access the bobbin by completely sliding this off. We'll just put it over to the side. And here's where this is a little bit more complicated than the modern model. We open this flap, and here is the bobbin casing. So you pull the bobbin cover by pulling on this tab. Hope you can see there's a small tab, and it brings out boop, boop. It brings out the bobbin. You let go of the tab to tip the bobbin out, to throw it on the table, as I've just done. And then we are going to put it back in by making sure the thread is going anti-clockwise. We're going to pop it back in there, clip the thread through this slot, and pull it up until it's in line with this slot. We have to grab hold of the tab again and then slot it into this part on the machine. Fits all nicely. This part that's sticking out is up. This is the little compass piece for this, so you know which way is the right way. Then when we've done that, we're going to ignore these tabs. These unclip so that you can access the full housing of the bobbin, which is handy if you're having it serviced or if you're giving it a good clean. But for now, we are going to absolutely ignore those. If you've got one of these types of machines, we're going to close this flap. We're going to slide the compartment back on, and we are ready to go. We wind the bobbin up in exactly the same way as I'm going to show you on the modern machine. And that's all the bits on the machine that you need to know for right now. So what's next? We need to prepare this machine for sewing. Remember, your machine may look a little different. Things may be in slightly different places, but the general function remains. If you get really stuck with your machine, send me a photo or video by email or on Instagram. My details are in the description, and I will do what I can to help. So let's get the bobbin wound, and then we'll thread this bad boy. You are going to need your spool of thread and your bobbin from inside the bobbin compartment. Have a little rewind if you're not sure about where these things are or what they're called. Okay, so we put our thread of choice onto our spool like so. You are going to pull that tail up to the left to the thread guide. Most modern machines will have a diagram on the machine to show you where to go. On mine, I have two. This is the diagram for threading the machine, and this is the one for filling the bobbin. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go into the slot, round the front of this round bit, round the back, and then across to where the bobbin is going to be held. Let me show you that. Tails to the right, clips into this slot, comes around the front of the round part, around the back, and then pulls across here. Now we get our bobbin, and we're going to start off by wrapping this tail of thread around it a couple of times. We're going to pinch the end into the bobbin, and then we're going to wrap it around a few times, making sure we overlap it so that it holds that end in and doesn't unravel. We can now clip it into the bobbin winder. We're going to make sure that the thread comes from the spool behind the bobbin and wraps around clockwise. If you don't do that, the whole lot will unravel on the next step. Once that's in place, we're going to click the bobbin and the winder over to the right. This tells the machine that we are winding the bobbin up, and it stops the needle from engaging when we push down on the foot pedal. Let me show you. I'm going to do it manually. So when this is to the left, the needle is engaged. When this is to the right, the needle will stay still, and instead the bobbin will turn. Start slowly with your pedal. It's not a race. It's going to make some noise and it's going to be a little bit intimidating at first, but remember, you are in control. You can stop at any time. You just lift your foot. I like to use the pedal without shoes on because I feel like I have more fine control over it. My heel on the floor and then a little pressure with my toes, and I can go nice and slowly. You now just keep the pedal pressed and watch the bobbin filling up until it's done. And you'll know when it's done because, well, it'll be full. It will reach up to this line. You'll know. So click it back to the left when you're done to remove the bobbin and get the machine back into needle mode. So I'm just going to show you how that looks. We can stop at any time. We can go really fast if we want to. We don't have to worry about anything, so it's a good time to get to know your foot pedal and the speed and the sound of your machine. Now, I'm going to stop here. I'm not going to wind it up the whole way. We are going to click this back to the left to take it off bobbin mode and turn it back into needle mode. And we're going to snip this thread to separate the bobbin from the spool. We're going to put the bobbin back in its little bed. And we're going to do this by paying attention to the diagram as I explained earlier. On my diagram, the thread needs to go anti-clockwise around my bobbin. So the thread is coming from over the back and coming down. I'm going to pop that in its bed. Now, my machine has a metal slot and an arrow pointing this way. I just pull this to the side and it slips into that slot. And then I'm just going to pull it up towards the needle plate so that it's out of the way for now. Then we finish off by sliding on the plastic cover. Now, are you ready for this? I have switched colours to this lovely hot pink spool of thread so that you can easily see what my needle thread and my bobbin thread are doing, because they're going to get together in a moment and the differentiation will help you understand what is happening. It's actually a good tip, using a different colour when you first start practicing with your machine, so that if there are issues with the tension or with anything, you can see which side the problem is coming from. Now, we're going to follow the directions on the machine. This time we're going to follow the threading instructions. You can see, well, no, you probably can't, but there are small arrows on my machine. They are numbered. This old machine has a diagram on the side here instead. The first one is going around the back of this hook, coming down past number 2, underneath the tension wheel is number 3, up to the right hand side of here, and if you wiggle your hand wheel, you'll see a piece of metal that comes up with a hook. We're going to go behind that hook, round to the left, and then down. So let's do that with our hot pink. We come around the back, clip into this space at the back, follow that line down, around the bottom of the tension wheel, up to the right, around the back of that hook, coming back down. Mine is open on the right hand side, so I slip my thread through that. Careful you don't loop that around because it won't be able to pull from the thread above. This needs to be coming straight down, straight through that piece of metal and down alongside the needle. So we thread the needle from front to back, which is arguably the fiddliest part of the whole thing in my opinion. and then we just pull that tail through so that you've got some length out the back. If you really struggle with threading the needle, there's this tiny piece of metal here that has a really thin piece of wire, and very unoriginally, it's called a needle threader. So you put the wire part through the needle hole from back to front. I absolutely could have threaded the machine without it. I'm just, showing you for your benefit. This can be just as fiddly. I suggest sitting at your machine and not a meter away from it. You push that through there, and this opens up a much larger hole that you can then push your thread through. And then you just pull your needle threader back through the hole, and it will bring your thread with it. They're a great investment for anyone who sews by machine or by hand. So we're just going to check and make sure that that thread is coming down from above, goes straight down through this hook, comes straight down into the eye of the needle from the front, and then heads out the back. We have a threaded needle. We have our bobbin prepared. We're just going to pull that thread down through the foot, pull out the tails. This is what these are called, the tails. Just going to pull out those tails and then just have them off to the side for now. We need to get these together because it's their interaction that makes the whole thing work. If everything was done correctly, we should be able to bring the needle down using the hand wheel. Make sure you're turning it fully in one direction because we need a full turn. We're going to hold the tails so that they don't get pulled inside the machine when we do this. This is why you want long tails as well, because they do get pulled in. We're going to twist the hand wheel, a full turn, needle goes in, needle comes out. Doesn't look like anything happened there, but if we tug on the top thread, just take this out of the way so you can see, don't you take that out, you will see that it will pull up the bobbin thread with it, which is why I threaded the different colour so you could see. Then you just grab that loop and pull it out. Now we've got both of them are coming out from this area. The bobbin thread is coming up between the feed dogs, and the needle thread is obviously coming through the back of the needle. Let me pop that back on there. And there we go. We're ready. We are ready to start sewing. So I would suggest threading and unthreading your machine a few times to get the hang of it. It does eventually become muscle memory, but for now it can be quite a tedious part. And I really don't want you to be put off sewing by just the setting up portion, because once you've got it, you'll have it, and you'll always have it. And any machine you pick up, you'll be able to figure it out. Sewing is so much fun, and it's a great way to express yourself. It's a great way to relax, and there's so many benefits to it. I want you to have a great time sewing. So spend some time, really get to know your machine. Maybe, watch a film together, thread it, unthread it, take out the bobbin, put the bobbin back in, wind the bobbin, thread the bobbin, thread the thread, play with the stitches, twist the things, pull the levers, press the knobs, whatever you need to do to get familiar with your machine. I want you to be best friends, because that's how you're going to make some fantastic things. I hope this video has been helpful for you and that it makes you a little more confident in giving sewing a go. We don't want to overwhelm you, so this is it for today, but I'll be back soon with the next step for absolute beginners, which is actually sewing. We're going to actually put some fabric together. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I would love to hear how you did, and get in touch if you have any questions. Have a wonderful rest of your day.